This question says convert to millimeters. So let's focus on part E. The question says convert to millimeters. So we have 0.63 kilometers. That's what we have. That's what we know. And we want to know how many millimeters is that. So we are converting from kilometers to millimeters. So the first step in the four-step ratio process is to start with a labeling ratio. The units that we have kilometers to millimeters. That's what we have. That's what we are dealing with. Kilometers to millimeters. Kilometers is km, millimeters is mm. That's our first ratio, the labeling ratio. Now, the second ratio must have two numbers. If we have 1 kilometer, how many millimeters is that? Let's find this out. Let's go to our data bank. Now, we know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer, we have 1,000 meters. But remember, we want from kilometers to millimeters. But we don't have that there yet. We have 1 kilometer to 1,000 meters. But now we know that 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. Each meter, there's 1,000 millimeters in it. So like I say, you have a kilometer. Let's say that's a kilometer length ruler, and in that ruler have 1,000 millimeters. Now a kilometer now is 1,000 meters. Clearly, 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, but each meter have 1,000 millimeters, so it's 1,000 times 1,000. Okay, millimeters, and that's equal to 1 million millimeters. So you have a kilometer. Is from here to Roseau. A kilometer is like the length of 2 different places, the distance, and a millimeter now is like a little ants. So like a million millimeters. Like if you have to put ants in one line, make a line with ants, you need like 1,000,000 ants in one straight line to make a kilometer. Okay, so 1 kilometer is 1,000,000 millimeters. So this will form our second ratio, the 1 and the million. So therefore now on the kilometers, we're going to put 1. And on the millimeters, we're going to put 1 and 6 zeros. 1 kilometer is 1,000,000 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now our third ratio must have a number and a letter. We have a number here, which is 0.63 kilometers. So 0.63 must come under kilometers. And we are trying to find the millimeters, so X will come under millimeters. And as we said, note you always divide by the number diagonally away from the letter. When you're cross multiplying and dividing, always divide by the number diagonally away from the letter. So we have to divide by 1. X is equal to, and we have to divide by 1. And we are going to multiply 1,000,000 2.63. Multiplying by multiples of 10. Is very easy. So therefore now X is equal to, so we have to shift that decimal point 6 places. Okay, So you have two already, two taken off from 6, so that'll be 4. So we have 6 3 and 4 zeros. All right, so that would be 640,000 millimeters. So 0.63 kilometers is 630,000 millimeters. And that makes sense because 0.63 kilometers is not a kilometer yet. A little bit more than a half. And for a kilometer, we need a whole million millimeters. So therefore, now, if you have 0.63 kilometers, you have less than a million millimeters to make it, which is 640,000 millimeters. Let's go to part B. Part B said to convert to milliliters, 0.575 meters. So our labeling ratio now is meters to millimeters. Now our second ratio must have two numbers. 1 meter, how many millimeters? Let's go to our resource, our data bank. In a previous video, we have established that 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. So that's our two numbers, 1 and 1,000. So the two numbers we are dealing with is 1 to 1,000. 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. Now the third ratio must have a number and a letter. The number we have there is 0.75 meters. So 0.75 must come under meters. And X comes under millimeters. We're trying to find what is X. And as we say, when you're cross multiplying and divide, you always divide by the number diagonally away from the letter. And coincidentally, it happened to be 1 also. In this example, we have to divide by 1 again. So X is equal to, put our division sign for safety, and we put a 1 under there, and we take care of the multiply, which is of course very simple. We multiply 1,000 to 0.75. Multiplying by multiples of 10 is very simple. We have to shift the decimal point 3 places towards the right because we are multiplying and there are 3 zeros. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, that will be 750 millimeters. 0.75 kilometers, 0.75 meters, sorry, is 750 millimeters. 0.63 kilometers is 630,000 millimeters.